Will be added tomorrow. And even though we got some rain in the I-35 corridor, very high fire danger. The only areas not as high are those that got really soaked with the rain on Monday. So overnight tonight, temperatures are going to drop by morning. You may wake up to 30s in outlying spots, 42 in Austin. High temperature later up to about 76 degrees. Another sunny, beautiful day. These clouds sweep in and out overnight, and we're back to sunshine. So when did the changes take place? You got to be patient for that. It does look like we're going to see dry, pleasant weather all the way through next week. By Monday, humidity on the rise. Finally, by Tuesday night into Wednesday, we could be under the gun for potentially more storms. This computer model is saying a couple of inches possible. This one not quite as bullish, but given what I'm seeing and a setup that could bring another strong system into our area, Tuesday night into Wednesday, I have added the possibility of strong storms.
Dude, holy.
Louisiana cleaning up today as well after dealing with tornadoes of their own yesterday. Those came from the same storm system that spawned tornadoes here in Texas and Alabama. 2 people were killed because of this storm system. 1 death reported near New Orleans, the other north of Dallas. Chief Meteorologist Chik Windler has been tracking this system closely beginning since earlier in the week. Where is it now and what are we looking at?
Well, right now it's working off the East Coast. There have been tornado warnings tonight out in North Carolina, which is pretty unusual. Now for our area, it continues to be quiet, which is great. It's allowing the National Weather Service to go out and survey damage. It's also allowing people to get those insurance claims in and do all of that really, really needed cleanup work. As long as the weather stays dry, that will be good. However, I am tracking more storms next week, so get it done as soon as you can. 5 confirmed tornadoes so far. What we're waiting on right now is to find out how strong Lexington may have been, as well to find out if there are any other tornadoes reported in Milam County. But 3 EF2s, the strongest, the Round Rock Granger tornado, Elgin, as well as the one down in Caldwell County, which had been originally an EF1 and then upgraded to EF2. Anything EF2 or greater is considered a strong tornado. Meanwhile, Gerald as well as Giddings, both EF1s. And an interesting development tonight, the National Weather Service actually looked at the track of the Gerald tornado. When I was on the air on Monday night, I said, this is eerie. This is the same area that was hit 25 years ago by the F5 1997 deadly tornado. Well, sure enough, 2 sections of the track on Monday night with the Gerald storm exactly intersected with the same areas that were hit 25 years ago. Kind of chilling. Thankfully, this much weaker. 54 degrees outside right now. We've got mainly clear skies in places. There have been some what we call virga, which is precipitation. Hey, what's going on? Thank you for checking in. It's Chicago, and we are looking at 12:53 in the AM. Boy, it's a little late. And I'm realizing I forgot to switch the camera. This is not using the web camera, which is higher quality. Instead, it's using the blah camera that's attached to my computer. So apologies, a little pixelated, little low quality out there. All right, let's take it away. Thanks for joining in. I'm Chik Windler. This is Chik's Chat. I actually have a dog here. Just chilling. And here he is, little Skippy. Said he wanted to come say hi. Ewok's here too. Ewok, you want to come say hi as well? Hop up. Hop up. Oh, you want me to lift you up, don't you? Ready? 1, 2, 3. Oh my goodness, this little goodness. Thank you. It's puppy day. So they're not puppies. They're big boys, but I hope you enjoyed spending time with your pooches if you have any. All right, let's take it away. Let's talk about what to expect with the 7-day forecast. And I got to make it quick because at 1 a.m., that's when the gremlins come out. Initially, it was midnight, but then I never chat like by midnight. Do I ever sleep? Jean asks. I do. I just sleep in strange times, which is why I'm always up really, really late at night. But anyway, I used to have it to where at midnight, all the graphics would switch to the next day, and then I tricked it, made it think that we're on a different time zone. Mike, what's going on? Brad Hall, long time no talk. It's nice to have you on board, Brad. You've been missed. I hope all of the treatment is going well. Hanging in there. So anyway, now at 1 o'clock is when all the graphics switch. So let's talk more weather. Let's do this. Temperature is going to be a little cool in the morning. I'm forecasting 42. If you're in the hill country, you're going to see some temperatures in the 30s. Highs later in the day, 76. It'll be beautiful. The only downside, especially if you're in the hill country, is that the fire danger is going to be a big issue. Extreme fire danger, in fact, for places like Mason and Gillespie counties. Then on Friday, a warming trend will be in the mid-80s. So almost feels summer-like. Pull out the shorts, the flip-flops. You'll be there. Upper 80s possible this upcoming weekend. Humidity creeps in, especially as we start toward Monday, and depending on how much of that humidity is with us. Then a storm system moving in Tuesday night into Wednesday morning. And I went ahead, I was kind of hemming and hawing. How bad could it be? What do I think? There's a possibility. I mean, it's not set in stone. It's still a week away. There's a possibility we may see some strong storms Tuesday night to Wednesday morning. So I am not officially weather alerting it up yet, but I am including a chance of strong storms with a question mark, which gives us some wiggle room. Danny, what's going on? You see the sidekicks as well. Thanks for having you on board. We've got 4 minutes. I'm going to zoom through this, and then afterwards I'll get off the system since it'll be 1 a.m. and all the graphics will be the wrong day, and we'll show you some more computer model data. I've got a new little plan, so we'll work it out. Okay, fire danger, going to be the big problem on Thursday. Red flag warnings in the hill country. Now, as you look at radar right now, you say, is that rain? You know what? It's really dry, so it's not actually reaching the ground. What you're seeing on radar, that is what we call virga. Don't let it fool you. At most, a sprinkle or two, and that's going to be it. And then skies will clear behind it. Ooh, speaking of skies clearing, look at this. It's actually freezing out in the Panhandle and out in West Texas. Love it. Comb of Texas Tech. All right, tracking temperatures. We made it to a high of 71 at Camp Mabry, a high of 69 out at the airport. Allergies, a big issue. Brad's still on dialysis down. Oh my goodness, you lost a lot of weight. Well, I'm glad you're still with us. I appreciate it. Curtis, I haven't had you on board in a while either. Lots of night owls in the house. So here we go. We've got oak, which is high, and cedar, which is still moderate. Cedar should have been gone by now. Just messing with us at this point. Moving right along, we haven't had much rain despite the fact of all those heavy storms. Areas east of I-35 did well in the rain department. Austin, points west, not so much. We are still at quite the deficit. Our next rain chance is the one I mentioned with the possibility of those strong to severe thunderstorms. Not really seeing any smoke around as of yesterday. I should have checked again. The Eastland Fire Complex yesterday was 66% contained, so progress there. However, more fires may spark up. Interesting to note, this is showing where new fires are. The red are the areas that are within the last 24 hours. So yeah, even though we had all that rain, there's still a few little fires that have popped up, none that were super notable. Air quality now is in the green, which is good. I wanted to point your attention. On Friday, our air quality is going to be unhealthy for some. That could mean our next ozone action day, so just be prepared for that. All right, zooming on in here, wind's pretty calm right now. Behind that next system, the one that's bringing us the virga that I mentioned, we're going to see the winds pick up out of the northwest. So that will mean the pollen levels will probably go up because now that everything's leafing out and budding, pollen will fly. We will also see fire danger on the increase, extreme fire danger out in western sections of our area. So that'll be the most dire spot, but everybody has a chance at having rapid fire spread if you are not careful. Damage surveys, more of them in. National Weather Service has now confirmed 5 tornadoes for the Austin area. Round Rock and Granger, the strongest. Elgin, second after that. The Caldwell County storm initially was rated EF1 and then it was revised to an EF2. Meanwhile, Jarrell and Giddings, 4 and 5, both as EF1. So the strongest of the storms, Round Rock, Elgin, and the one that ended in Caldwell County. 3 EF2s on that enhanced Fujita scale, which is anywhere between 111 and 135 mile per hour winds. Meantime, 2 EF1s, Jarrell as well as Giddings. In case you're wondering about other damage surveys, so far across the entire Lone Star State, we are up to a count of 27 confirmed tornadoes. The Gerald tornado was an interesting one. The track of it was eerily similar to the 1997 F5. The difference is 97 was much stronger and actually moved in from Bell County from northeast to southwest, as opposed to this storm, which moved from southwest to northeast. So they basically moved in opposite directions, but over the same track. Isn't that something else? Outside right now, we're 52 degrees and it's officially 1 a.m. So bear with me. Some of these graphics may not make sense because they'll be offset by a day. But as I mentioned, that weak disturbance bringing in not spotty showers because they're evaporating before they reach the ground. It is virga. This will be in and out. So by the time you wake up in the morning, skies will be clear again. So we talked about the fire danger. I urge you to continue to remain vigilant. Any outdoor burning, anything that could start a flame, certainly could cause a quick spread. So you have been warned. Red flag warning, critical fire danger, and there's that fire danger forecast. I got you, Skippy. He says, I want to get up here. Ooh, look at the airport, 39 degrees. Fredericksburg, 39 degrees. So there will be some pockets that are a little bit on the chilly side. Now this forecast is going to take you all the way through the day on Thursday into, actually this is Friday, because remember we're now past 1 a.m. So that's why all the graphics are off by day. But we will be well into the 80s for high temperatures on Friday as we work our way through Thursday, which will be a sunny one. This is Friday instead of Thursday, again, because of the fact that we're past 1 a.m. But you get the idea. Temperatures will be in the 40s. What is it with you, my friend? 40s in the morning, 70s already by lunchtime, so it's going to be warm. And then 80s as we head into the afternoon hours on Friday. And I think we could hit a high on Friday of about 85 degrees. All right, so when do things change? As we look at the next 5 days, this again is skipping over Thursday. We're going to go with Saturday, Sunday, Monday, Tuesday, all in the 80s, and then late Tuesday into Wednesday, that's our next storm chance. Right now, the predictions from the different computer models are showing potential for some pretty hefty rain on the left-hand side with the Gfs model, which is interesting because last week, every day the Gfs model was the lighter and the European model was the heavier. And this time it's just the opposite. So we're going to have to watch closely, but there could be the potential of some stronger storms. For instance, let me go ahead and scoot this back a little bit and show you when the storms might potentially hit. This is showing Tuesday night into Wednesday morning. So we're looking at overnight Tuesday. There's likely to be a cold front and it's going to move in, and ahead of it we may see a dry line. Does this sound familiar? Like we've done this before. Storms could get nasty into Wednesday morning, those oranges and yellows, and then push through. That's one computer model. That's the one that's bringing the heavier rain. Now let's take a look at a different possibility, and this is going to be the lighter computer model. So that takes you through the first one. Oops, that actually may have taken me through the second one too. Let me back it up one last second before we move on to the outlook. No, I think I just had one of those in there. So this is the more, I guess, bullish of the computer models as far as advertising potential for strong Pacific thunderstorms. So again, we'll walk through that and see that push out, and then we're done. Next time I'll do a better comparison so we can see both of them. Finally, as we look ahead, April 1st, can you believe it's almost April? Oh, time is flying by. Average for temperatures across most of the Lone Star State, and slightly cooler than average across areas in North Texas. Meanwhile, as for precipitation, it looks like we'll kind of be in a drier trend for a while into that first week of April. I'm not going to show you the 7-day forecast. You know why? Because since it's after 1 o'clock, it will have the wrong days involved. But what I will do is I'll tell you, you can get your forecast anytime. All you have to do, easy peasy, is just go to cbsaustin.com/weather, and there you have it. You can check in on conditions anytime you want. So bear with me, I'm just closing off the weather computer so that I am off of it, and then we're going to get extra super duper coverage for anyone who wants to stick around. All right, so that is a done deal, and I'll put it back over to the camera. And by the way, that red flag warning. And here we go. Feel free to chime in if you wish, and I will show you some more stuff. And actually, if you guys have any specific questions, let me know. I'm happy to answer any questions that you may have now that I'm officially done with the weather section of this. Oh, I also just remembered I wanted to share something else with you. Check this out. I went ahead and did a compilation. I basically did a search of all of the warnings, watches, advisories, etc. All of the storm reports that came out. Jean says, love the CBS Austin app. Awesome. I'm glad it works for you. It's free, so it's kind of handy. I agree. So here is a look at a compilation of all of the warnings from 8 a.m. on Monday morning through 8 a.m. on Tuesday morning. Take a look. You can see, and I'm going to see if there's I think I can telestrate on this. We're going to get all fancy. I'm going to telestrate, so I think I can show you. Okay, so this is going to circle areas where there were basically multiple tornadoes in numerous tracks. And so the reports were coming in as there were warnings, one after another, after another, after another. And so the National Weather Service went and they did all of these surveys. And so far, the current count is up to 27 different tornadoes. So let's zoom in here a little bit and we'll take a look at some of the areas that saw the first damage report. So we're going to go with Round Rock. And right here is where, and let me see if I can clear off the white sketches. Let's see, clear. There we go. Done and done. So it's really interesting when you can look at it through this much detail as far as the storm track is, here's where, I'm going to pull out the whiteboard again. Hold on, we're going to telestrate. So here's where, Walmart and Home Depot are. Over here is where Target is. This obviously is the 45 flyover, the 45 flyover. Here's I-35, so we're in Round Rock. Behind that, here's where Dell is, and there was a lot of damage in Dell. And so this was basically where the damage began. However, and I don't know if she's on tonight, but Livia had mentioned that the first damage was in her neighborhood, which was a little bit farther to the south of where we're looking right now. So just south of the exchange, there are some homes and some different buildings and businesses that are just south of that exchange. And so not too far away from, say, the Grand Avenue Parkway area and south of that Round Rock 45 and I-35 exchange is where some of the first shingles and siding and roof damage and that kind of thing took place. I got to figure out an easier way to clear off the telestrator, so I will remember to do it. And then let's go ahead and continue to follow the track of the storm. Keon, how are you? You said you just can't get the image out of your head. Well, I can't believe you were driving and that you saw it. My goodness. Okay, so then after pushing across like the Dell campus, then the storm made its way farther toward the north and east toward Gaddis School Road. So there was some wind damage reported at the Chili's right there at the frontage road. And then from Gaddis School Road and the Clay Madsen Recreation Center. So we're going to scroll over this way and we're going to see Cedar Ridge High School. That's one of the areas that, like, a lot of the damage was in areas served by Cedar Ridge High School. So, unfortunately, just a lot of damage in some of these neighborhoods along Gaddis School Road. And then, as we take a look farther to the east, we get a little bit farther to the north where the track then moved up toward Highway 79. So basically crossed through some of these neighborhoods along Gaddis School Road. And then there was more damage reported at the Kalahari Resort, which is right there south of Dell Diamond. There were also some reports coming from, tornado on the ground, sighted from Palm Valley Boulevard, Highway 79.
And then the storm moved its way toward Hutto. And on the north side of Hutto, more reports, there's some damage on the north side of Hutto. So now this is taking us up to the east of the Highway 130 toll road. And then the storm lifted a little bit farther to the north, and it had some damage that was 5 miles west of Taylor, some more wind damage near the Williamson County Recreation Center. And then there's more damage reported at a home north of Taylor. So downtown Taylor was spared, but north of Taylor, there was some damage, and then the storm continued its way a little bit farther toward the north, where it made its way near the junction of Highway 29 and Highway 95 in Circleville. So that's where there was a tornado on the ground. A couple of reports here, tornado on the ground, tornado on the ground. And then the storm continued to push toward Granger. So Granger, we had some reports of some damage, and then it pushed across from Williamson County into Bell County. And at this point, the line moving toward the north-northeast, crossing Alligator Road, some power poles and trees were damaged. Tornado continued to the northeast, damaging more trees, more power poles near FM 487 and along Donahoe Road, believed to have lifted just as it was crossing FM 2268 or 88, 68, east of the town of Villas. So, I mean, talk about a crazy track that went a long, long way. I personally find it to be incredible that all of that happened and somehow nobody perished, which is something that I'm quite thankful for. You can only imagine how scary it must have been for everyone that happened to see it. Now, along the way, there were some hail reports, nothing too bad. There was some penny-sized hail near Georgetown. I think that happened later with the second round. There was some nickel-sized hail also reported in Georgetown. Cedar Park also had, Leander had some hail, and there was some hail reported out near Mansfield Dam. But you know, the biggest story, just really the tornadoes. So there will be still some more tornado damage to inspect and to look over in this crazy storm system. Do you guys have any more questions for me? That was kind of fun to show you that. And I'll try and remember that I have access to this for the future so that we can take a look at some of the, I know a lot of people are kind of fascinated by the track of the storm. And so I look forward to kind of being able to show you all that. Let me see if there's anything else. I would like to show you, let's look at some computer model stuff. Let's see if I can get it in the right frame so we can take a look at the potential for storms next week. So I have this set on a wider view. First, let me do one quick thing. Stay here. And it just loop. It'll just loop and I play it. Then, okay, animate. And I think I can get it to just go and hopefully it'll just continue. Yep. Okay. So I'll just put this on loop mode so you can see it while I quickly do a little email. Sally says, hello, hi. Thank you for staying up late tonight. Nice to see you, Sally. So yeah, this is going to take you through a loop of the potential for storms next week. And of course, I need to shove this up so you can actually see it because I just realized that the frame that I have is, I need to adjust it so it shows the whole image. I want to show Texas, not Canada. There you go. Now you can see Texas a little bit better. So you'll be able to see that upcoming storm system for next week. And I'm going to continue to try and get a little bit more refined with doing this, but I thought about it. I was like, I don't have to just show only the weather computer. I can show all kinds of stuff. So this will hopefully give us a little more flexibility to show some different stuff from time to time. All right. Almost done with what I was going to do. Oops, I just realized that's not it. There, now that's it. All right, now guess what? You have my undivided attention after I was so distracted just a second ago. I just need to get better at walking and chewing bubblegum. And, that will make all the difference in the world. Jean says, both wonderful and yet terrifying to be able to see the up-to-date notification. So thankful for the coverage on Monday. Oh, my pleasure. I'm happy to show you and to do that. All right. So now that you've had a chance to watch this loop multiple times, you're kind of going, we don't want to have more severe weather. Let me show you what could potentially play out. And unfortunately, I'm going to have to pull this down. I'll work on making this a size that will, maybe if I zoom it this way, I think this will work. Okay, now you can see it all on the screen. Although it's really tiny for me, but hopefully you guys can, let me make it a little bit bigger than that. How's that? And then we'll scroll it. I think that'll work, right? I'm just comparing my screen versus it. I think I still have to shrink it down a little bit so that we can get it all in there. Okay, let's give this a go. We'll give it a try. So first thing what I'm going to do is I'm going to zoom in a bit. We'll take a look just at Texas itself. And then we'll kind of work through time on the next system. So here we are looking at Sunday, and now here's Monday, and then let's go and take a look at Tuesday. So on Tuesday, initially looking pretty quiet during the daytime hours, and then this is Tuesday night. Beth says lots of weather activity the last few days, no doubt. The New Orleans tornado rated at least EF3. Even tonight there were lots of tornado warnings on the East Coast. All right, so this is a look at the European computer model for next week, and this is showing Tuesday night around 7 p.m. with the first showers popping up northwest of Mason County, and then boom, all of a sudden we start to see storms fire. So the storms initially may fire as we head into the late evening hours of Tuesday and into Tuesday night. And then as we head toward Wednesday morning, that's when the storms could push across the hill country. And then into Wednesday midday, the storms basically are pushing off toward the east. So that's one computer model showing how things could potentially develop. If you look at that compared to what we had on Monday, it's not as much, not as bad, but just something to keep in mind. Now let me go ahead and show you the GFS computer model, and we'll kind of do a little comparison. The GFS computer model, just so you know, is a little bit more bullish. Yes, Skippy. Down here. A little bit more bullish on showing heavier rain and storms. So let's do the same thing. We'll go ahead and work through time. Just so you know, it'll be dry all the way through the week and into the weekend. And then here we have Skippy licking my ear. Hi, Skipper. I know. And so here we go with Tuesday afternoon. And then here's Tuesday evening. And you can see in this case, the first storms that initiate are up in northwest Texas, closer to the Red River. And then as we work through time, boom, this is a lot worse than the other computer model, isn't it? We have a totally steady or continuous line stretching from Oklahoma all the way down to the Rio Grande, moving into our Western Hill Country communities by around Wednesday morning at 3 or 4 a.m. And then the storms push all the way into the I-35 corridor. And this is by about, oh, actually, I think I told you the wrong date earlier. I have this so small now in order for it to fit on the screen. So this would then be about 1 a.m. So the previous time I told you was incorrect. It wasn't 3 a.m. It was more like 9 or 10 p.m. So this is a look at 1 a.m. Tuesday night into Wednesday morning. If this materializes, then this has all the markings of being more severe weather and more severe storms and not great. And so for a computer model to show this 6 days out or whatever, for me was enough to be like, yeah, I think we could have severe storms. So that's why I went ahead and went with the option of the strong storms wording, and then that moves out. Okay, so let's dive in a little bit deeper. Let's look a little bit more at this. And so one of the things I'm going to do, oh my goodness, this type is so small. Bear with me. I'm actually, in order for this to work, I need to be able to see what I'm looking at. But at the same time, I need it to be small enough so that you can see it on your screen. This is the magnifying glass. And for me, because my eyes, I mean, I'm wearing my contacts. I can see, but I just can't see little. So I'm going to arm myself with this. Okay, just to make sure I'm pointing out the right thing. All right, so what we're going to do is we're going to look at what's called the supercell composite, as in supercell thunderstorm potential. All right? So I'm going to advance through time because we know it's going to be all quiet until we reach next week. Okay, so here we're looking at Tuesday. Here's Tuesday morning. Here's Tuesday midday. Here's Tuesday evening. All right, so we've made it to Tuesday evening, and we're starting to see some supercell possibilities. Now the chart at the very bottom, if you're in the blue, you're still kind of in the low range. If you start to get into the oranges or the reds or even on into the purples, that is ugly and not great. So with that said, we don't want to get there. Let's advance through time and see if we do get there. All right, so clearly we got there. This is showing pretty quickly that the oranges are popping up to our west and southwest. So to orient you right here, this is Travis County. Like, oh, I don't know if you're actually seeing that. I think I have to circle it. It's not going. Okay, here's Travis County. So all of a sudden, this is by about 10 p.m. on Tuesday night, we're starting to get the possibility of some supercell thunderstorms. And it does fade out. It does fade out, but there's going to be that window of time, as you can see right here, where there will be potential. So, something to keep in mind. Gabrielle says hello and good morning. Same to you. Sally says, yay, Skipper. Best saying thanks for the updates. No, it takes a tremendous amount of time putting all this together. You know what? It is, this is kind of like my pet project right now. Like I always look at weather data and I'm always thinking, what are some better ways for me to be able to better communicate to you, answer any questions you might have, help keep you informed. And so whenever I'm in my like zone, if you will, I'm like sitting in front of computers perusing weather model information. And so I got to thinking about it, like I want to figure out a way to where I don't have to just have the work computer in order to be able to tell you guys the weather story. So then I kind of brainstormed on what I could do. And I was kind of inspired, to be honest with you, by my husband and my kids because they love watching gamers do different video games. And so the idea with gamers is that they're playing whatever game, which would be in the screen where you're currently seeing the weather model, and then they're commentating as they're playing the game. And I was like, I could totally do the same thing. I'll just commentate on weather or whatever, right? So now it just comes down to every night when we do Chicks Chats, kind of like massaging what we're doing, tweaking things just to make it work better. So one thing I'm going to do in the next edition of Chicks Chats is I'm going to change the color of the telestrator. Instead of white, I'm going to make it black because very clearly I can tell that black will be easier for me to use as a pointer. I'm also going to figure out an easier way to clear the whiteboard because right now it's something where I have to do multiple, oh, just kidding. I just looked and it says press escape to clear the whiteboard. And I'm like, duh. Here I was thinking I had to do multiple things. Okay, let's see. Pressing escape right now. Okay, I pressed escape. Did it clear it? No, it didn't clear it. Seriously, it did say that I could press escape. Let me try it one more time. Escape. Shift escape. See if that works. Nope. Function escape. No, that just did function lock. Control escape. No, that didn't do it. It just popped up some weird random menu. Seriously. Okay, I kid you not. It says that I can press escape to clear whiteboard. Use this when it's selected. Clear, use escape. I did use escape. All right. So that's one thing I'm going to have to figure out is how to clear the whiteboard quicker and effectively. That's so weird. Escape. Nope. It is not going to listen to me. But anyway, you get the idea. So I'm going to go back through the way I had been doing it to clear it there. It just takes like 3 steps for me to do it. So that's one thing I'm going to work on. All right, so next, because we're not done. Skippy, I know. He's like, Mom, you never chat this long, although sometimes I do. You just want all the attention, don't you? I know, you do. You do. We appreciate you too. I'll run both of you boys out in a little bit. What's funny is before we do the chat, my husband runs the kids out, and then he's like, I'm going to bed. And inevitably, I think maybe it's because they expect that once I run them out, I'll give them more TREATs. And so maybe that's why. Like, come on, get down with the chat so we can get our goods. Okay. So let's see what else I can share with you. Here we're going to look at instability. All right, so this is going to be, you may have heard if you like follow weather a bunch, something called CAPE, which is convective available potential energy. And essentially, it is fuel for storms. So instability. So let's take a look at this, and we're going to do the same thing. I'm going to scoot through time until we head into Tuesday. And so here is Tuesday morning, and here is Tuesday midday, and here is Tuesday evening. So in this instance, the CAPE, the fuel for storms, it's present, but it's not off the charts crazy. Now, in the Gulf of Mexico, where you see those oranges, that's getting nutty. But in general, this CAPE, or fuel for storms, as I'm going back and forth through time, kind of peaks in these blues, which right in here are still kind of on the lower end of things. However, it's still about between 1,000 and 2,000. This measurement is called joules per kilogram. And so, that said, it still is a decent amount of what we call CAPE. So then I can actually, and again, I'm going to have to clear the whiteboard. I got to figure out how to do that more quickly. So then we can actually take a look at what the atmosphere might look like at that point in time. So this is what's called a computer model sounding. So the red line is the temperature line. The green line is the dew point line. The bottom is the surface. The top is the upper atmosphere. And so as you look at this, it is actually saying supercell, no quality matches, significant hail, no quality matches. So some of these numbers try to help you diagnose if there is a decent chance of severe thunderstorms. And so you can actually look at all of these different parameters in order to try to determine if there is the possibility of severe weather. So things like this are, great ways to geek out over, what could happen, how could things pan out. And another thing we can look at is we can look at the upper air dynamics. So we're going to look at what's called vorticity. And vorticity is essentially in the mid-levels of the atmosphere, spin in the atmosphere. So I'm going to actually, in this instance, show the whole United States instead of showing just Texas. So we're going to zoom out to the whole country. And the spin in the atmosphere that was here on Monday is what helped to promote the tornado outbreak. So we're going to see what next week brings. And of course, you can see what's spinning over the Gulf right now as I advance through time. And then you can see that big spin up in Minnesota and Wisconsin. So each of those is a little packet of energy, if you will, a little storm in the upper mid levels of the atmosphere. So as we're looking toward next week, you can see that there was a system right here moving in off of the Pacific. See how there's a little swirl to it as I put it into motion? So that packet of energy, or in this case, what we're going to call vorticity, is going to swing its way to our west. And see how there's a little bit of curvature that's pulling right through Oklahoma, right here, this little spin that's moving through Oklahoma and then up to the north. So that pinwheel is where the highest amount of spin will be. But before that pinwheel works its way to the north, it's down here in the desert southwest through portions of Arizona and New Mexico, and then it moves its way on toward West Texas and into the Panhandle. So when it's in the Panhandle, that is roughly about 1 a.m. on Wednesday morning. And so in that orientation, everything, and I'm going to go back to the whiteboard, everything out ahead of this is where you have what's called divergence, or winds fanning out aloft. And when there's winds fanning out aloft, you have convergence, which is winds coming together at the surface. And in order to get storms, you need to have convergence at the surface, which forces rising air, and you have to have rising air in order for storms to fire up. So this actually does have the makings of that setup. But then we need to make sure we have enough moisture. So let's go and check on dew points. So we're going to see if there is enough juice for storms. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to go to the surface and I'm going to pull dew points, and we're going to take a look at those. So what you're looking at right now, and I have to clear the whiteboard again. I promise I'll figure out an easier way to do that. So when I say whiteboard, by the way, I'm meaning Telestrator. So what we're looking at is dew points. And right now our dew points are really, really low, and it's very, very dry. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to start from the back and I'm going to advance through time. We're dry, we're dry, we're dry. Oh, hey, starting to see moisture increase. So now I'm actually going to zoom in and we're going to look at the state of Texas so that we can really diagnose how much moisture for storms moves in. So again, we're looking at dew points. The greens are dew points that are rich and juicy and ripe for storms, and also the muggy air. So here we advance through time, and by Saturday, we're starting to see dew points in the 40s. By Sunday, we're seeing dew points into the 50s. By Monday, dew points close to the 60s, which are in the blue. And by Tuesday, there you go, we have dew points that are in the low 60s, which is fuel for storms, moisture, all that good stuff. So the areas that are in the blue, which do include Austin, are areas that are ripe with moisture coming in from the Gulf of Mexico, which could in turn be another ingredient for storms. Now, as we head our way toward Tuesday midday, we're starting to see a dry line develop, and that is going to be that dividing line right here between the dry air here to the west and the warm, humid air right here to the east. I'm going to go ahead and clear this off. So it's along that boundary that we're going to be watching to see how far east does the dry line get, and then how long does it take for the storms to fire. So you may notice, I'm going to go back it up a little bit here. Everyone through basically the Eastern Hill Country, I-35 corridor points east, is in the blue. The blue is the really good juice for storms. And then as we work our way toward around midnight, 1 a.m., Tuesday night and Wednesday morning, all of a sudden you can see that the drier air is kind of punching in, And that is going to mean more stable air moving in from west to east. And the juicy stuff in the blue starts pushing toward Houston and a little closer to the coastline. As that happens, our energy, our fuel, our moisture start to fade out and move to the east, and our threat for anything significant moves out. So it really looks like a pretty small window of time between late Tuesday and early Wednesday when the ingredients potentially could line up for us to see possible storms. Let's see if there's anything else fun I can show you, and then I'll probably sign off. I just was wanting to experiment with some more stuff and figured you guys could be my guinea pigs, which I so appreciate. Let's see, I showed you instability. We looked at the upper air. Oh, while we're at it, let's take a look at, in this instance, how much rain we could see. So this is, and I'm actually even going to show, well, I'll show you the whole state. It's fine. So as far as rain, we stay dry. We may see some patchy drizzle on Tuesday morning. The reason I'm leaning is because I'm like inspecting with this. So in a perfect world, you wouldn't see me going, what is it? If only I had amazing vision. So this is then showing that there's potential when the storms push through to have some pockets of more than an inch of rain. So to go back to the telestrator, this whole swath right in here, which may include parts of the CBS Austin area, the purples correspond to over an inch of rain. The oranges correspond to over 2 inches of rain. The yellows correspond to over 4 inches of rain. So you can see areas in Louisiana might get really serious rain. So anyway, there you go. And with that, I'm going to call it a night. But I thought I would just kind of share you a little bit of extra stuff just because. And now we will officially say goodnight. Thank you to everyone who bothered to stay up late and hang out. And we'll have more updates coming up on Thursday, which granted, I know it's already Thursday. So, ta-ta for now. Have a great night. Sleep well. Thanks as always for checking in. Those of you on the YouTube page, take care.